What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about LCX token today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get going, you guys. I wanted to make this video because I think it's very time sensitive. I think it's very important to make this announcement. I think LCX is about to rip. Like, when I say time sensitive, by this time tomorrow, we could be at 50 cents. We could be where we are now. We could even be lower. I don't know, right? But if we do pull back from here, it won't be long before we do rip. But I don't think we will. I think we are. I think we're about to rip up higher and move higher. You look at the 4-hour RSI, it looks very dominant, very strong, right? Higher lows, higher highs over here, whatever. I mean, just overall living in the overbought zone, living above the 50, it's really nice. And we're testing this overbought area again right now on the 4-hour. So literally time sensitive, you guys. By the end of today, we will have a result for LCX if it's ready to move up higher or if it is going to continue to consolidate more. Okay, so if you're looking to catch this next ride, we're at 35.69 cents now. Sorry, 35.8. I don't know why I said 69. I just wanted that number, I guess. 35.87. I don't know where I got that number from before. But I think we're going to move up to 62.5 cents, if not even above $1. Right, we've got targets that are near 100% higher at a minimum and near 200% higher at it, or actually, sorry, that'd be much more than 200%. At the maximum, right? And we could go higher, but I really do expect that this move will likely go all the way up to the 1618. 1 second. Sorry. Whew, I had to breathe. The reason why is because you tore right through your golden ratio, your 618 zone, right? You just tore right through it, and it looks like you're doing this thing, which is extremely uncommon, but it happens in very bullish moves, which is obviously you tear through everything, right? Normally, if you tear through the 61869, you expect to find resistance in the 786, 886 area. And I'll grant it, we did, kind of, for a second, right? But here we are, closing above it again, looking like we're going to make strides higher. I just can't help but feel like we are on a nonstop train right now. And generally speaking, when you're on these kind of moves, you don't stop at these lower fib extensions. You actually, you would at least stop here, if not even go higher. So yes, these are the minimum targets. These are valid targets to have, but genuinely based off of this kind of reaction that we're having with the volume, with the RSI, with everything that's going on, we're at 35.7 cents, you guys. By the end of this year, I think LCX could really be not just above $1, but like above $1.10, above $1, right? How much growth is that again? I didn't even remember. That's a 3x, more than a 3x, right? Just around a 3x from here. So if that sounds good, if you want to catch that move, this is a good one for you. You know, not saying that this is the best coin ever. There's probably coins that'll grow more than that in this amount of time. There's probably plenty that won't grow that much in this amount of time, but I definitely think it's going to be an exciting end of the year rally that we'll see with LCX. And again, I'm expecting this at like a minimum, right? I've addressed the minimum targets technically, but I expect this at a minimum. We really could see prices that are dramatically higher. This thing, you can tell, is moving with a certain, what's the word I want to look for? It's like, I don't even know. It's like a word. It's like vitality, but not, I can't think of it. But anyways, it's moving with a lot more conviction this time around, right? It's moving like this. It's moving pretty fast. This was nice. This was pretty fast and steady up, but this seems to be a whole different level of a pace, right? We just moved right up here. Once we break out of this zone, right? Generally, when you break above something, that's when you actually start to take off, right? Like you can see here, you moved up kind of slowly, consolidated for a little while. You know, you moved up, you consolidated a little while, and then boom, once you broke above this area, it was nothing but green for the next like month after that, right? And then you consolidated, then you had your slow move up, whatever. All I'm trying to say is once you broke above this previous area of resistance, it didn't stop there. It went significantly higher. So the fact that we rushed up this high, I don't think that it'll stop right here. I think it will go significantly higher. You know, and time will tell. But I've got nothing else that I want to say. I think literally time is of the essence with this thing. 4-hour looks really bullish. If you want to prove me wrong, if you want to validate or invalidate me, I should say, look for a 4-hour to close. I would think below 34 cents. If we can close below 34 cents, maybe I should be a little bit more generous. Let's go here. Yeah, if we get a 4-hour to close below 32.3 cents, down we go. And not super far down, right? Probably like at the most we drop down to 20 cents, 21 cents itself, which from 35 cents is a pretty big drop, albeit, you know, but it's not too dramatic. It's something we haven't seen in crypto before, and it probably happened in a very short amount of time. We'd recover from it in a very quick amount of time, but I don't think it's going to happen. If it does happen, just get a 4-hour time frame to close below 32.3 cents, and that'll invalidate me. But likely what's going to happen is we're going to close this the next 2 hours, 41 minutes. We're going to close this green. We're going to get into the overbought zone on the 4-hour. We're going to continue to climb on the overbought zone on the daily. Very, very bullish look on the overbought zone here. And then on the weekly, same thing. We're overbought on all accounts, right? We do our best work in the overbought zone, right? Here's when we got overbought on the weekly last time. Look at how long we were overbought for. It was this whole bit of the move, right? We just got overbought the last couple of weeks, right? We've got a lot more to go. That's what I'm thinking, okay? We look at the daily time frame. You look at the daily time frame, you go back to this move as well, and we weren't overbought for an extended amount of time, but we did live in the overbought zone a lot more often, right? You can even see here at the very beginning of this move, you had your first attempt in the overbought zone. Actually, I guess even here you had your first attempt in the overbought zone, and you continue to get more attempts, and that brought further price action to grow. Here we're getting overbought. This is our first time being overbought since this like uptrend really resumed, I should say. This is the first of many, right? So like I very much believe that what we're going to see, if not a consolidation rather immediately, I think what we're going to see is a push up higher above $1. And likely by the end of the month. I mean, maybe even within the next 2 weeks, guys. It is alt season. So I got nothing else I want to say. This video went on longer than I meant for it to. So hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. LCX, it absolutely looks like a bullish chart, right? I mean, you could just draw. You can be very simple way of analyzing it, right? Here's your lows, right? Those are higher lows, right? Here's your highs, right? There's your higher highs. What's this move going to do? Would it top off here and then we go down? No, that doesn't make sense. We're in an uptrend. Well, we got higher lows. Maybe we'll get higher highs. Where's, I didn't draw the straightest line there, but higher highs. Where could that take us? Probably above $1. Probably above $1, right? And even though this is an uptrending kind of line here, you can break out of these lines to the upside, right? And it happens all the time, especially in bull markets. So it's more common not to, but it does happen. So it's almost like kind of like a parabolic structure in a certain way as well. But we'll see as time goes on. Anyways, guys, look it up. If this is your first time hearing of LCX, look it up. Don't just buy it blindly. Make sure that you are comfortable with what it represents, what it's about. You can see it going far or having a purpose in this cycle and making you some money. Don't just blindly put money into something because you hear some random guy on YouTube say, it's at 36 cents. It's going to move to $1 by the end of the year. You'd be dumb not to buy it, right? Don't buy something because of that, right? Buy it because you heard somebody say that. And then you did your own research and you're like, okay, I agree with what that guy's saying. I see that happening, right? Some of this stuff doesn't make sense, but now that I've read it, I have a better understanding. I can support it. I can back this. You want to do that because if you do make the purchase here, and then it does correct a little bit from here, we do go back to 20 cents. Now you're aware of what this thing does. Now you're aware of the fundamentals a little bit. Now you're aware of the tokenomics a little bit, right? You've read the white paper, hopefully, or the light paper, whatever they have available, so that whenever it does shit the bed and it goes opposite of what you're expecting, if you're just expecting it to go up, you have conviction. You're not just going to sell here. You're not going to think it's broken. You're like, okay, it saw a little downside. That's normal. We've seen downsides before, but I believe in this thing. I've done my research. I know what it's about. I could see it growing more, right? I don't just have this empty promise of some face on YouTube telling me it's going to go higher, and then once it goes the opposite direction, I think it's broken. No, sometimes it happens, and then it goes where it's supposed to go anyways, right? You'll have more conviction. You might even have the gall to buy if it were to pull back. You might even have the gall to buy more if it pulled back, right? If you knew something about it. But if you just buy a coin randomly, blindly, because you hear someone on YouTube talking about it, if any kind of fluctuations, volatility at all happens, anything not according to plan happens, you shit yourself. You make the emotional moves. You do the wrong things. Avoid putting yourself in those emotional decisions, right? Avoid that. Do research. Look it up. Make sure it's right for you. If it's not, you can always roll the dice and gamble, but I always think it's important to invest in things that you can, even if you can't understand every concept, understand some of it, right? I wouldn't consider myself like a low IQ human being, but I definitely do not understand every single thing that I read when I read white papers, but I try to. I really do try to, right? And that's the important thing. It might seem like a new world of language, of terminologies, but that's only at first. Right? The more that you do this stuff, the more you actually care and you do research, the more that you'll figure out what each thing means, and it'll start to make more sense. You'll be reading college level stuff, and it'll be normal for you eventually. But anyways, I don't know, man. I'm rambling at this point. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. We're at 36 cents now, 35.5 cents, whatever. $1.10 or more by the end of December, maybe even in the first 2 weeks of December. That's it. Bye bye.